Hello my friends, welcome to Adventures in Food with Howard. Today I make for you Filipino chicken soup, otherwise known as Tinola Manok. This recipe today is an old family favorite. When I was younger, my family would eat this at least once a week during the colder months. Because all of the ingredients were extremely inexpensive, you could make a big pot of this soup and some steamed rice and feed a lot of people for not a lot of money. Even now, this recipe is very affordable. For this recipe, you need one chicken cut into about 12 pieces, or you can do what I did today and use large chicken legs and thighs with the backbone attached. You'll also need a 2-inch piece of ginger sliced thin, 3 to 6 cloves of garlic sliced thin. Optionally, you can add 1 onion chopped, but it's not necessary. You'll need 1 chayote squash peeled and cut into bite-sized pieces. Make sure to remove the tough, woody central core of the chayote. And you need 1 bunch of mustard greens that have been cleaned and chopped, 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, and salt to taste. The only thing about this recipe that is even remotely difficult is the cleaning and the chopping of vegetables. You'll want to make sure to clean the mustard greens well because they're grown in sandy soil, and if you don't clean them well, they can be gritty. I usually prepare the mustard greens first, which involves cutting the stems into small pieces and the leaves into bite-sized pieces. Don't worry about adding in the stems because mustard green stems are very tender and will cook quickly. Once the mustard greens have been chopped, I usually put them in a salad spinner and wash them 2 or 3 times in cold water. After cleaning the mustard greens well, you can spin them dry in the salad spinner or just drain them by hand. Next, I take the chayote squash and cut it lengthwise into 4 equal pieces, making sure to cut out the tough and woody central core. So long as the skin is unblemished, it's really not necessary to peel this vegetable, but my dad always peeled it, so I peel it too. But it really isn't necessary. Now let's turn our attention to the ginger root. And here's a handy little tip. The easiest way to peel skin off of a ginger root is to use the edge of a spoon. The edge of a spoon easily removes the ginger skin and none of the ginger flesh. Once the ginger has been peeled, cut the ginger root into thin coins approximately 1/8 of an inch to no more than 1/4 of an inch thick. And using the side of a knife, bruise the ginger slightly. It's not necessary to beat it to death. You just want to release the ginger juice. Treat the garlic the way you do the ginger root. Remove the paper husk from the garlic cloves and slice it into thin slices. If you're using an onion, which is totally optional, dice the onion into large dice. Now let's turn our attention to the chicken. A whole chicken will give you the best flavor. However, you can substitute chicken legs and chicken thighs and chicken backs for the whole chicken, and it will give you almost as good a flavor as the whole chicken. Do not try to use all chicken breast meat for this recipe. White meat chicken will not give you the flavor that you need for the broth. If you decide, like me, to use only chicken legs, separate the leg from the thigh at the knee joint, and that is the only preparation that is needed if you're using chicken legs. Here's another useful tip. If you turn the leg over and look at the fleshy underside of the leg, you will see a line of fat between the leg and the thigh that is a really good indicator of where the knee joint is and where you should be cutting. You can also use your finger to feel where the joint is, and that will help you find the place to cut. Once all your prep is done, then it's simply a matter of adding things to your pot in the right order and at the right time. Start by placing your chicken pieces into a large pot that can hold at least 6 quarts. Scatter the ginger and the garlic evenly throughout the pot. Add enough water to barely cover the chicken. This will take about 8 to 10 cups of water. Bring the water to a boil and skim off any scum that rises to the top of the boiling water. Once all the scum stops floating to the top of the pot, then add 2 tablespoons of fish sauce and the onions if you're using them. Reduce the flame so that the water is at a gentle simmer and cover the pot. Continue to cook the chicken at a gentle simmer for approximately 35 to 45 minutes. Now, this next step of removing the chicken from the pot and separating the meat from the skin and the bones is totally optional. Growing up, we always ate the chicken on the bone, but I think removing the skin and the bones make for slightly easier eating and a more elegant presentation. If you do decide to debone the chicken, remove the chicken pieces from the pot and place them to the side to cool. Raise the heat and bring the soup back to a boil. Once the liquid is at a rolling boil, add the mustard greens a handful at a time. It may seem as if there are too many greens and they will never fit, but as the soup boils, the greens will wilt and they will fit in the pot nicely. Once there is room in the pot, then you can add the chayote pieces. Once the chayote pieces have been added to the pot, then you will want to reduce the heat to low and simmer the soup for about another 15 minutes. While the vegetables cook, separate the meat from the skin and the bones and shred the chicken meat into bite-sized pieces. After 15 minutes of simmering, taste the broth and adjust your seasoning, adding more fish sauce or salt or pepper as needed. Return the chicken meat to the pot and simmer for approximately 5 to 10 minutes to bring all the flavors together. This soup is traditionally served with white rice. I hope you give this recipe a try and enjoy it. If you liked this video, please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. I really enjoy hearing from all of you, so leave me a comment too. I hope you can join me next time on the Adventures in Food with Howard. Bye for now.